Hello, everybody. I'm Jalen, and we have officially hit day 5,000 of my forever world here, which is pretty insane. Real satisfying seeing that nice round number in the top left corner. And we've been really expanding on things lately, mainly on stream, so I'll be giving you a recap of what we've done there in just a second here. But I thought I'd start things off with just a nice flight over the spawn area to take a peek at this and so we can come back in 5,000 more days and see what we've done. I've got lots of ideas to expand on the spawn area, and we'll do a little recap of the whole world, check out our other areas at the end. But I kind of wanted to just jump right in today and get going on my day 5,000 monument is what I'm going to call it now. I've been planning on building it, and that is a space needle. I'm from Washington State, so I'm going to be inspired by the Space Needle and get as close as I can, and I think it's going to be a really cool thing on the side of our city here, which I have been working on. We got our modern side of the street here. It's looking really cool with these buildings. I'll be getting the bottom floors going, and that's really going to bring the area to life and differentiate things. And then we got our older buildings over here. I'm just really liking the color, and I like the different roofs. I really like the red one. And then we got our skyscrapers. And these just came together so nicely. I was just not looking forward to getting the windows going. And I've mentioned it many times, but I saw a picture of the skyscrapers in Oslo, Sweden, and they just really inspired me. And it actually was a fairly simple way of decorating these buildings, and I couldn't be happier with how they came out. Then on this one, did my first big pixel art ever, and I think it's looking really cool. A little sunrise over a mountain, again inspired by Washington State, Mount Rainier. And in this building, I built my first creeper farm ever. So I've been real busy on stream. I've just been allowing myself to not worry about episodes for a little bit, but don't worry, I see myself getting back in that mode here before too long. But yeah, we've been really making some progress, which is another benefit of the little break from episodes, just able to plug away at my projects a little more. But I'm excited to take you with me today, trying to get this Space Needle going. And I did a good amount of practicing in a creative copy just to kind of help figure my shapes out. There's lots of interesting shapes going on here, which you'll see in a second. So I'm excited to bring it into the world here and start off with just getting me a place to work. And I am planning on expanding this road and connecting it to my village over there. So I'm keeping that in mind when I'm thinking of the placement here. And I looked up on YouTube and learned that you can make an equilateral triangle by just picking your straight odd line. I'm going with 21 blocks. So we go 21 blocks here. And then you go in one and start going up two, then up one, up two, then up one. Like so. And just meet them up in the middle, and you end up with a good little triangle here, which this is the first triangle I have ever made in Minecraft, which is pretty crazy. Well, at least one that I actually looked up and got a good triangle, and you can see it looks really good. It might not be perfect, but definitely I'd say it's Minecraft perfect. And the reason I'm doing that is because I've got 3 legs that are going to hold up the Space Needle here. And again, this took a good amount of practice in the creative copy to figure this shape out. I'm just kind of going up by one more block each time on my way up. And then at the top, I start going out again, because if you look at a picture of the Space Needle, you'll kind of see the shape I'm going for. And I think it turned out really good here. Then it was just a matter of getting the other corners going. The back one here wasn't going at the angle, so I was worried it was going to really throw things off, but it still seemed to work. I just followed the same pattern, and I think we got a really cool shape here. I was really happy with what we got going there. Then I found the exact middle of the triangle, and I worked my way up and expanded out by 12 on each side, so I end up with a 25 diameter circle. And I just, again, after a little practice, found that if I went 3, 3, 2, 1, and then repeat the process, if it didn't fall down here, you would see it nice and smoothly. And yeah, repeat the process back and end up with a nice little circle. 3, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3. Just work your way around 4 times. And you can see we got a really good start on things here. Like I said, just getting a circle and a triangle for that matter going on, just amongst all these squares, just really is adding this interesting building here. I'm getting more and more excited as I go here, just because I realize how different it is than anything I've ever built for one thing, and just getting the interesting shapes and curves, and it definitely stands out in a Minecraft world. I think it's looking really cool from down here. You can see just the way it rises above these smaller buildings over here. I was super excited about it. And yeah, there's a couple things I kind of forgot to point out, updating what we've done in this world here. Again, just taking another look at our city here, but another cool part of it is we got this boardwalk going on back here, which I'm just getting started on, but you can definitely see the idea for it, and it's going to expand out this way, and the way these buildings look just up against the boardwalk, I think definitely has a lot of potential to be something pretty cool. And I had been planning on this island being a place to harvest the nether trees, and I'd been covering it in nylium, but I'm going back on that just because I think we've got such a cool vibe here going on with the city. I think it would just kind of stand out a little too much in the area, so we'll find a new spot for that. And another area I did a little bit of work on was filling in my lake over here where we're going to have the waterfall, but I've been placing a whole bunch of dirt, just getting this filled in. I'm really looking forward to coming over here and just working on a really cool mountain lake project at some point. It might be a little bit before I get started on it, but you can definitely see what I'm thinking there. And yeah, the city's just looking really cool over here. You can see how the Space Needle's just really going to fit the skyline, and I'm just super excited about it. So I'm just going to jump back in, get a little work done. We'll come back and see what we think. Get things lit up a bit, and I was getting pretty excited about this project at this point. Take this flight back, and especially on this flight when I got the legs still dark, we really got a little spaceship going on here. I think it's looking really cool. It was a little bit fatter and chunkier than I might have been thinking. I would have maybe liked it to be a little flatter, but we might be able to fix that as we go here. But you can see it's looking really cool, and I just really like the interesting shape we got going on. It really adds so much to the skyline of my city here. And there's still a lot to be done to make it look even cooler. Working on the legs here and making a little platform at the bottom, just like the real Space Needle. I'd put a picture up, but I know that you can get copyright and stuff and all that, and I just need to learn more about that before I do that. And I don't have a picture of the Space Needle in my phone, unfortunately. But I was using pictures as a reference, so I was trying to make the legs look more like it was, which had a gap in the middle and kind of the two thin legs on the outside, which I will fill some gaps with some diorite walls here in a bit. But first I had to get that done on all the legs, just go up the outside and take out the middle. And I do apologize, lots of dark footage in this video. I ended up working through the nights. I need to get better at lighting things up, but I've been saying that for years, so I understand if you don't believe me. But Now that I got everything all laid out mathematically, I can take my triangle template out, and things worked pretty well, I think, with how this came together. Then it came time to get going on the lower platform here, and I did kind of the same idea, just found the middle and expanded out. This time I went with a square and just chopped off the corners. Kind of went with my own shape on this one, mainly because the picture I was looking at was far away and I just didn't even really look. But I think it ended up looking pretty cool. Now we just gotta bring it all together. I did start using some pale oak wood for the roofs and stuff, mainly because I was really going through the diorite. Pale oak's a little easier to get a bunch of, but man, I was thinking this was looking really cool. Really enjoying. I'm getting better at using some references now. I'm trying to work on that, and I'm really having fun just trying to bring the Space Needle to life here. It's got my own little shape to it, but I think it's definitely obvious what it is. If you're from around where I live and near Seattle, everyone knows what this is. And I think it's just looking really cool, and my favorite part is this view that you get from this bottom floor, even almost better than the top floor. It's just a really cool angle to have on the village over here, especially. And like when you come up to these black windows and the way it clears up, I think it just looks really cool. And it's a good view of the city over here as well, for that matter. But I'm not done with these sides of the buildings yet. But once we get done with these sides, this is going to be a really cool view as well. So I'm just really liking what we got going here. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with this, whether it's just going to be a little penthouse. We'll probably hide a little farm of some kind somewhere in one of the floors. I'm not putting too much thought into the interior, other than that it's definitely an ideal location to do something cool. There was still a few more essential things I wanted to do here. One, getting some cobblestone in here just so it looks a little more established and isn't built on the dirt. But the main thing is getting an elevator installed here. And I went with an interesting little elevator here. I wanted to have one water elevator going up to the second floor, one going up to the third floor, and then just have one that I could drop down to both floors on. But I also wanted to make it as small as possible, so we kind of got going with this little shape here. And I think it ended up working pretty good. I had to tower up on the inside to create the elevator shafts that I wanted, and one right up the middle that really separated things. And then I just installed a couple water elevators. And I was using trapdoors to stop the water, but I ended up losing the clip here actually, so you're getting a fast forward. I traded with some signs, and we got our 2 water elevators in, one up to the top floor here, then you drop down back to the bottom floor, and if you go up on the right side, it brings you to the second floor. I just think that's pretty cool. Again, I am just really liking this little platform here, and I'm thinking I want to get a little base set up in here, but the only thing holding me back is that I'm going to be kind of far away from a lot of the farms I'm going to be building in the city, but we'll figure that out when I get there. I like that we got this working elevator here, and a few more things I wanted to do. One was extend the road to go past the Space Needle here, just so it fits in a little better. Again, I'm planning on this extending to a bridge across to the village. So with that in mind, I shrunk the road by 4 blocks actually, just so it's a little bit thinner, because I need to shrink it to make the bridge and blend with the road in the village. But I think we're looking so cool here. Just a few more things I wanted to do. Like I mentioned earlier, it was just a little too tall and not like sleek enough for me, so I came up and just extended things out a little bit in a few areas. Going along these windows here, I'll have to figure that out from the inside when I get there. It doesn't look quite as good, but it does do a lot to kind of flatten this top here. Like I said earlier, it was just kind of bugging me. Then I also filled in a few gaps on the legs here just to add some structure. Again, taking inspiration from the photo. And I think it's looking really cool. And then flattened out the bottom a little bit too, just by digging some blocks back where I could. Just trying to make it not so tall and chunky. And extend things out along the bottom of the windows here. And at this point, I was pretty happy with where I was at. Can definitely use Another couple rounds of details and textures and obviously interior and whatever I decide to do with it, but I'm very happy. I just wanted to get this being part of my skyline. But the one thing it's missing is a 12 flag. I'm a big Seahawks fan. Gotta represent the 12s fresh off the Super Bowl. We all know seeing the 12 flag hanging over the city. And funny enough, it's one of my favorite parts of this whole build. It's amazing how much that added. And little details like that just bring a whole giant build like this to the next level are my favorite when you just have this quick idea and it just looks so cool. And I got it going from both sides here. I think that just looks so cool. Actually, this is a really cool view from this side as well, which there will come a time when I'm building over here. We're planning on doing a big zoo on this island that I'm on. So we will see this view in the future, and I think that is really cool, the way it rises above the trees and just the shape of the flag looking like it's blowing in the wind. And it just came together so quick. I couldn't be happier with what we got going on here. I think it's a great monument to Day 5000. I will always remember I built this on Day 5000. And I know it always seems like your newest build is your favorite build, but I'd say it's safe to say this is definitely top tier for me. And I like the way the elevator kind of blends in, so you still see the legs. At nighttime with the deep slate, you just kind of end up looking through it, and it works out really well. And I'm really going to put some thought into how I want to utilize this building. Mainly, I want a reason to come to this second floor here quite often, whether it's putting a little base in here or maybe a little villager trading hall, maybe a particular kind of villager, I don't know, but I just really like this view. It's just the perfect height to have this really cool view, and I just think it would be fun to take advantage of that. So I might just do a little base type in this floor, and then maybe in the top floor do more like micro farms of some kind. Get a whole bunch of different micro farms in here. I don't know. We'll see. Obviously, it would be cool to have a reason to come up here as well, even though I'm going to have to raise the floor so I can see over my little slabs I got going there. Honestly, I'm thinking the top floor might end up just being a bunch of different micro farms in here and just have it producing as many things as it can in a nice central location. It might be kind of a fun little project to try to put together, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I just had a goal of getting this in here as a monument for now, and I would say, at least for stage 1, I've gotten that done pretty well. And I'm just really getting excited for our city down here. And take one last little walk through, let you soak things in. We plan on doing something cool with these alleyways. Just all kinds of details I plan on bringing in. I feel like it's looking pretty good now, but I also feel like it's really just the beginning. And oh man, getting the Space Needle back there really makes a difference in this area. Super excited to have this done, and I like having it represent my home state a little bit. I think it's just looking really cool. Again, I mentioned earlier, really happy with the scale and just everything about it. And just the scale of these buildings overall. This whole city's just really got me excited and got me in a serious Minecraft building mode right now, I would say. But I figure, Day 5000, we better do a nice little overview of some of the things we've done. I did just put a YouTube short out, kind of going through things, but figured I better do it again here, and this time I'm just going to kind of go through area by area and give some of my favorite views from the ground of the world. I'm just going to get out of the way and let you enjoy. And I know we've been seeing a lot of the city this episode, but I gotta say, I think this is one of my favorite view revelations in the whole world at this point. Especially now that we got the Space Needle even adding to it. And I just can't say it enough how much I'm liking the vibe of the city here. And like I said earlier, the most exciting part is that we really are just getting started. I really do plan on this being something that I go back and forth working on for years to come. We got a whole bunch of room to expand this direction, and like I said earlier, once we start bringing in the bottom floors on some of these buildings, getting some villagers running around, it's going to really bring some life to the area. So I'm just really looking forward to it. But I really wanted to thank you all for all the support on these 5,000 days. It's really been fun having you all following along, and it's definitely keeping me inspired to keep playing. So I'm just going to keep doing just that. So until next time, I appreciate you all for coming, and have a good day.